pleasure and joy to announce the Grammy-nominated singer and new member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Please put your hands together one more time for the one and only Mr. Peter Cetera. Peter, I don't know where to start.
Okay.
I don't know where to start. First of all, I want to thank you also on behalf of the whole audience, of the Swiss audience, for this amazing, amazing, high-energetic show with your songs. They sound better than ever. You got a fantastic band.
Thank you. Well, needless to say, it makes everything better when the crowd is so good. You guys were awesome, crowd. And yeah, the band is, you know, I tell people when you come to hear the show, I feel sorry for people that either didn't know about the show or didn't care or didn't come because they miss. It's a great band, and that's what makes it fun, you know.
So it is no joke, but it is actually your first time in Europe and first time in Switzerland.
I'm having a hard time getting upset here to see here.
Now it's gone. First time in Switzerland, first time in Lucerne. How do you like Lucerne so far?
I love it. Everybody's been so nice, and yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. There's a big difference when you tour in the States and you go to Toledo or whatever, and then you come to Lucerne. It's just beautiful.
Now you have just been to Sweden, to Stockholm, and did a show there. That's how it looked. And you played in an amazing location called the Circus. So how was the show in the Circus?
Yeah, it was amazing. The Circus actually is right across. This is something nobody knows. Right across from the Circus. That's it. What a wonderful place. There's a ship called the Vasa. If you ever go to Stockholm, you must go see the Vasa. It's a fabulous relic from the 1400s.
So now that you experienced 2 shows in Europe, is the European crowd any different than the crowd around the globe and the rest of the other countries that you play?
Well, I mean, I think everywhere you go, you always wonder if everybody is going to know your songs or remember you or you know, and especially coming here because I haven't been here. But in the end, I think the people show that they love the songs, and that's what makes the crowd so good, and that's what makes us on stage feel good too. So
you're a brand new member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What does this prize? What does this prize personally mean to you to receive that honor?
Well, you know, it's kind of a mixed thing. I mean, I felt that Chicago, we should have been in years ago. And well, so there was kind of a little personal vendetta going on that kept us out. And so it was a little bittersweet being inducted now, but yeah, we are in, and I just chose not to go. It's, you know, I haven't been with the group in all these years, and it's, you know, people ask me, well, are you going to get back and do this? You know, and it's sort of like asking somebody to get back together with your ex for the night and film it, you know. So, and I thought it was better perhaps not to go.
So what I want to know, where is this prize going to stand at Peter Cetera's home? Where do you put it? This prize, this award?
Well, strangely enough, when they mailed it to me, I had more fun taking it around. I live in a small town in Idaho, Sun Valley, Idaho, and I had more fun taking that thing around. Had it on the floor of my car, and I'd see somebody, you know, friends of mine, and I'd stop and go, hey, come here. You ever seen one of these before? And in the process of a couple of days after I got it, I scratched, the statue's got a scratch in it, and the base is kind of cracked. So they're going to fix it. But
All right, all right.
sorry.
Now, you mentioned a very big inspiration for myself as well, but also for you, a guy that you work with many, many years, still work with him, and that's David Foster. And I heard the story that the song You're the Inspiration, you were inspired to write the lyrics for You're the Inspiration in Italy. What's the story behind this song?
Well, like I say, David at the time was recording Kenny Rogers, who was a big star. And he called me up and asked me if I wanted to write a song for Kenny Rogers. So I started the song and then left for Italy. And actually, when I was in Rome, and the original words were something like, you should know, like Michelangelo. I mean, there were things like that. I was very inspired. And ended up changing some of the words, and there you go.
All right, all right. Now I want to talk about, of course, all the amazing artists that share from time to time the same stage with you. Some of them, we see them here. The best of the best, the most recognized artists of all kinds, including the late Natalie Cole, of course. So what I want to know, how is it for you personally to be on stage, to do this amazing show with David Foster and friends all over the world, in Asia? How is it to be on stage, like when you stand in the line and just the greatest singers of all time standing with you?
That show right there was the first one we ever did. That was at Mandalay Bay, I think. I think is, and I'm going back with David. I'm going back to at the end of September for a week in Florence with Andrea Bocelli and doing some shows there too. And, you know, you don't have a chance to meet a lot of people in the business because you're going this way and they're going that way, you know. Actually, David Foster played a very big part because back in Chicago, you know, I mean, Chicago was together a long time and we had, you know, ups and downs, you know, and that's the way the business goes. And he was responsible when Warner Brothers suggested we use him. And for some reason, David and I clicked right immediately and wrote the whole batch of songs, you know, Stay the Night, You're the Inspiration, Hard to Say I'm Sorry, Glory of Love. And it sort of put Chicago back on top. And then later, you know, when I went solo, you know, I had some success early on, and then I didn't really have a record company behind me or manager. And I sort of got discouraged, and I wasn't working for a while. And David actually called me up and said, "Hey, would you like to sing? I'm doing this thing with the symphony and stuff." And that's how I started again on that show right there. And even to this day, I still do a symphony show. I take my band, we do it unplugged with symphony charts. It's an amazing show. So maybe the next time we'll bring the symphony show to Switzerland.
Fantastic. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I grew up. That's not the house. I don't know what house that is, but yeah, the south side of Chicago.
So I noticed when you were a small guy, your hair still looks the same like it does today. So I thought it's very cute. It's very cute.
I was pretty cute, wasn't I? Yeah.
You still are a very good-looking guy. And then later on, now, you know. But I thought, you know, it's not fair that I show pictures of you in that age, you know. At least I have to show some of mine. That's me. That's little Phil. The same age, we would have been best buddies. Peter and Phil. Now you come from a very musical family.
Very cute, very cute.
Very cute, yeah. I have some ideas for some songs, Peter and Phil.
There you go.
Great. You come from a very musical family. You have two brothers. They're also very gifted musicians. That is Kenny, Tim, and of course yourself.
Well, my brother Tim in the middle actually years ago played with Ricky Nelson's band.
That's right.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. And my brother Kenny now still works. He actually plays. I sort of talked him into doing a Chicago tribute band, which he does. He goes on the road with that. And he also does. He also plays in an Eagle tribute band. So, yeah. And then he sings with me sometimes too. Kenny actually toured with Chicago. I brought him on the road. He was on the road during Chicago 17 for about a year and a half. And he actually sang backgrounds with me on You're the Inspiration and Hard to Say I'm Sorry. So,
why did you choose the bass guitar?
because it had 4 strings. And I thought, might be easier with 4 strings. I don't...
What time did you start to play the bass first
Well,
time?
I wanted to buy a guitar when I was younger, but my parents wouldn't let me, so I had to play an accordion. You're looking at the last Polish accordion player from the south side of Chicago. And then when I went to high school, I met this fellow who was a guitar player, and he said, let's start a band. So I went and I bought a cheap bass, and that bass right there was probably the worst piece of garbage I ever played. It looked great, but that's the only time I ever touched it. It was horrible.
Before the glory years, of course, with Chicago and the Peter Cetera years, you were in this band called The Exceptions.
We were the best. We were the best there was in Chicago and in the Midwest. We were we were sound alike. You know, you had to play top 40 songs to work, and we were the best.
You're a big Beatles fan, right?
Yeah.
There's a story I heard when you met Paul McCartney and you were so nervous that you forgot your own name. Is this correct?
I did. I forgot my name, but he didn't. It was it. Thank you, Paul. Actually, there you go. That's actually a picture I took at the Beatles show. I saw the Beatles twice live, and I mean, I still get chills when I think about it. And this was their third tour in Chicago, and I paid scalper tickets, and I think the scalper tickets were like $50, and you could see they were really good seats. And the Beatles came on, and I think I'm not sure they started with "She's a Woman" or something, and up until then, the PA was just beautiful. Every group that was on sounded great. The Beatles came on, you know, hello, how are you? And then boom, they went into She's a Woman. And the PA blew up. Right, my love, don't give me present. My love, bam, the PA blew up. So for the rest of the show, you could barely hear them, even when they talked, you could hear the music. But I didn't care, because I was that close to the Beatles.
For all those music lovers, if you've never heard how the Exceptions sounded, you're a funny group. And we have some footage from the very, very early days, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy that with us.
Where in the hell did you find that picture?
It's an original record of the Exceptions. Will there ever be a comeback show with the Exceptions?
There we are with our suits. Yeah. Well, I've seen everybody just within the past couple of years. It's very funny. We were a fantastic group, actually. We were a very, very good group.
Well, maybe you should think about a reunion.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm going to bring you guys over here to Talkshow again with the Exceptions.
You know, there was a period when we were very, very hot and played. I think we were the first people to play Madison Square Garden 5 nights in a row, and we played the Forum many nights in a row. So there was exciting times with it. Yeah, sure.
Do you regret that you couldn't go on stage in Madison Square Garden and took a selfie?
A selfie. Well, now that I see all the pictures you found, I don't think I needed a selfie. My Lord.
You know why I showed this picture? Your green suit. There's a nice story. Your green suit was stolen once, right? And years
Yes. Yeah, well-
later, you find your green
Yeah.
suit somewhere in a shop.
Well,
What's the story behind that?
the fellow that made that suit is Manuel the tailor. He's a very famous tailor. And he used to work for somebody called Nudie, who is even more famous. And Nudie became famous. He made Elvis Presley's Golda Meir suit. And then he proceeded to make all the rhinestone suits for all the country singers, right? And Manuel was his tailor. So years ago, Manuel made that suit for me. A bunch of other suits. And subsequently, he moved to Nashville, where he's now the biggest, he still makes the suits for the country stars. And so years ago, I had a bunch of things stolen out of a wardrobe case. And I actually forgot what was stolen. And I would say 6 months ago, I went into his store to get something to go on the road. And he says to me, he said, "Peter, I have something for you. Look." And I turned, and there's that suit. And I went, "What in the heck?" And sure enough, and I said, "Where did you get this?" And he bought it on eBay.
So my question is now, did you buy it back? Or is it still in the shop?
It's in his shop, and I said, "All right, look, as long as you can put up a sign that says on loan from Peter Cetera," because I couldn't ask for it back. But I'd like to know who he got it from. But yeah, it's very funny. I still have that Fender bass. I still have it. And that bass, when I first bought it, it was a Sunburst. And then I had a friend of mine paint it, who was an artist, painted it psychedelic. We painted it white with flowers. That was the hippie days. Mm-hmm. And then I stripped it down to bare wood, varnished it, and then had it painted white. And I still have it. It's still painted white, and still have that bass. I love it.
So Peter, before you leave,
Sure.
since you're here, I want to pay a tribute to you tonight.
Okay.
And it's a great honor to play this song on my own version.
Okay.
Everybody needs a little time away, I heard them say, from each other. Even lovers need a holiday, far away from the one that I love. Hold me now. It's hard for me to say I'm sorry. I just want you to stay. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to. All that's been said and done, you're just a part of me I can't let go. After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise you. After all that's been said and done, part of me, yeah. You're just a part of me, Peter, you are a part of me. You're just a part of me. I can't let go. Thank you so much for coming tonight, Peter. Peter Cetera. Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter. Peter Cetera, y'all. Beste Film all the time.